All right, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? My name is Eric, and I talk about real estate and financial freedom through real estate. I love teaching and talking about it, and just informing everybody, man, this is something that's doable. You don't need a degree, you don't have to have a license for this, and anybody can really do this. And if you're on TikTok, guys, if you will, please tap the screen. That helps the algorithm out. It brings people into the room. But I'm here talking about financial freedom. And if y'all have any questions about real estate, man, put them in the chats. I like teaching people about real estate and how you can get into this game. People have this thought process that you have to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started, and that's not even the case. So, man, I'm just telling you, I started out, I didn't know what I was doing at the very beginning, but you know what? I took the time out to learn it because it was so important to me to really get to that next level because they don't teach us in our education system. They don't teach us this in school. They don't teach you at any university, not even any trade school. So when you can take the time out to learn this, guys, I'm telling you, it's valuable information. Hey, what's going on to everybody out there? It's been a while since I've been on. I haven't been on vacation. I've been grinding. See, this is the behind the scene things that y'all don't see. I'm actually going out there and doing some mentorships, and then also I've got I'm setting up again my next workshop because people are enjoying it. So I'm doing another one, and then I'm actually looking for some properties for myself to go buy too. So I've been really busy. I've been in the pocket. I decided to come out here a little bit, man. But again, teaching people about real estate, man, and I just helping people out to get to that next level financially because the way that things are right now in this economic time, man, you got to be able to level up because if not, you're going to drown. And I'm not saying this as a negative way. I'm just saying there's so much opportunity around us. You just got to take the time out to tune into it. Okay, guys, especially in this day and age with technology and you got websites and you got softwares and you got so many people out here talking about it. There's so many ways out here to make extra income and level up to where there's really no excuse. The only excuse that people have is themselves, and you gotta change that mindset. So again, I'm just out here teaching people the game of real estate. If you want it, here it is. If not, hey, look, it doesn't move me either way. No, it does move me when you could take this information and run with it. But if you choose not to, that's up to you. But you know, I've been in everybody's situation before. I was that guy that was, trying to figure it out, trying to make ends meet, and I didn't have an answer, but I was always struggling trying to figure it out. And I just so happened to run up against real estate, and it's something that I always wanted to do anyway. And then I found somebody, he taught me, and then I ran with it. And I remember getting my first single family house because I started in the early 2000s, right? And I remember buying my first house, my first investment property, and I got a tenant in there. And I'll never forget when I got that tenant in there, and she was on Section 8, right? At first, it wasn't a Section 8 tenant. It was actually somebody that worked for the bus system. But anyway, she ended up losing her job, unfortunately. But I had to get another tenant. Went back to my mentor, and that's when they taught me, hey, look, because I said, I want to get income coming in guaranteed. How can I do this? And they said, you might want to do Section 8. And I haven't looked back since. And I'm glad I did it. So I'm streaming on a different social media platform as well, guys. So I'm kind of moving back and forth. So if you see me doing that, that's why. But if y'all have any questions, man, I'll put them in the chats. But I've been there before to where, I felt like I was spinning my wheels financially. And it wasn't until I did this one thing by taking the time out to learn about real estate, that's what changed everything for me. So I'm here to just help people out, answer any questions. Again, I've been there before too, to where I was trying to figure this stuff out, and it was tough. It was very tough for me. But what was tougher was being broke. And I don't know, hopefully somebody can relate to this, but I know for me and having two kids and a wife, I wasn't going to be another statistic and I had to level up and it was well worth it. And sometimes you got to have your back up against the wall in order to get to that next level. And that's what happened with me. I remember I did everything I could to go work at these plants. For those that know my story or don't know my story, I used to work at a chemical plant and I made great money. just wasn't happy because I was always at work. I was always making somebody else rich. And I said, man, I can't keep doing this. You know, I like what the definition of insanity by Albert Einstein. He says, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, doing expecting a different result, that's a definition of insanity. And most people are really in that situation. We got a lot of changes in this world right now, and if you keep doing what you're doing, you're just gonna keep getting what you're getting. And it's sad but true, right? And we out here playing checkers with our finance when we need to be playing chess. You got to think ahead, right? We got to do things in advance to get to make our money stretch and last and multiply, right? So those things are really important. And again, I got to learn that when I was working at these plants, because I said, man, I'm not going to keep doing this, because I just started to realize, man, I got tired of exchanging time for wages. I got tired of going into work and then getting paid like, 2 weeks later. It just, to me, it didn't make sense until after a while I started to say, wait a minute, I got to make some changes. Um, and it just didn't sit well for me. And then I'm thinking long term, like, wait a minute, you telling me I got to do this for another 40 years or another 30 years? I said, nah, no, I'm not going to deal with that. So I started to ask people that were older than me and asking them, hey, look, how are you combating this? And then I really started to read books and go into meetings and getting around the right people. That's right. Somebody says, yeah, you for sure. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I went through. Maybe you guys can resonate with it or not. I'm just telling you, I just needed that change. It was so important for me to get that change in my life. So that's when I started to realize, wait a minute, I got to have money working for me passively. That's when somebody else had told me, and I started reading these books. One good book I want to tell you all about. There's a lot of good books out here, but I'm going to tell you the book that I read that really changed everything for me. It's a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Really good book. He breaks it down in a real simple format. But Rich Dad Poor Dad is a very, very good book, and I highly recommend people to read it. And it really changed my mindset, and that's what we really need nowadays is a mind shift change. And I know people are scared right now because I'm seeing a comment about the crash. um, I don't Nobody can predict the future, right? Nobody can do that. All I can say is this, you know for those of us that took the time out and to say, you know what, we're already investing, we're the ones winning. So for me, inflation doesn't bother me, because as I have assets, I have single family houses and I got apartments, because I decided to get into the game, I'm winning. So the things that bother you guys, it doesn't bother me. But what I'm telling you is, when you learn this information and then you take action, you'll be in the same position as any other real estate investor. See, when the market goes up, it doesn't bother me, because my rents go up because it's a business. And then so do my properties. That's what I want, right? Where most people, they're working for somebody else. They're worried about food prices and gas prices and clothing prices and rent prices and housing. Yeah, I got that. But what helps you be on the positive side is when you're out here playing chess and not checkers. And that's what I was saying. You got to own some assets. That is the key. If there's anything I can tell you, owning assets is the key, because when you're in that position, you're riding the wave. Okay. Somebody was mentioning earlier about a crash. Well, I want to tell you something from an investor standpoint, and you could be an investor too. From an investment standpoint, that is I don't want you to take this the wrong way. And if you do, you do. But this is when things go on a discount, right? Things go on sale when when there's a crash. That's just the way it is. Whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto, whether it's real estate, this is the time when it's about to go on sale. Again, I can't predict the future. Nobody can, but I started to learn this stuff as I got older, right? And I started to really tune in and paying attention to the economy. It's like it's cyclical, right? So ride that wave. If there's a crash, I like what Warren Buffett said. He says, when everybody's greedy, be fearful. And when everybody's fearful, be greedy. You got to be the opposite. It's a mind shift change. And as I stated, yeah, we might have a crash or there will be one, right? I just don't know when. But what I'm saying is that you can save your money, and that's the best time to invest. When things are going bad, that's when you invest because things are on sale. I'm just telling you. And again, that is a Warren Buffett statement, and I've held true to it, and I believe it. He's the one of the best investors in the world, right? He knows what he's talking about. And that's another thing, guys. We got to kind of listen to people that are great investors, or listen to great people that are great real estate investors, or they're doing good in stocks, or that's who I like to listen to. Not everything, maybe not everything, but a lot of the stuff, right? So that's how you got to get on that other side, guys, because basic bottom line, you got to get assets in your life. I used to be the guy to work a lot of overtime. That didn't get me ahead. Okay. I used to be the guy that worked two jobs. That did not get me ahead. And I was trying to get bonuses. Stuff doesn't work. The only way that I was really able to get ahead is once I started buying assets like real estate. That's what changed everything for me. All right, let me answer some questions out here, man. Let's see here. How do you find properties? How do you find it? Susan, great question. I'll flip my screen around. I'll show you. I can't show the same people on YouTube, but I'll go over that in a little bit. I'll show you how to find these properties. And I'm not just showing you how to find properties, guys. I'm showing you how to find these properties below market value. That's the key. Now, as I give you this information, guys, I ask y'all to tap the screen because, again, that really helps the algorithm out. It lets me know that y'all are out there, whether you're on YT or TikTok. Kind of help me out, and I'm going to answer questions as best as I can. Somebody's asked me on TikTok, you have to be specific. Invest in what exactly? Chris, what I'm talking about is single family houses. That is specific. Single family houses, that's what I invest in. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. That's what I'm looking at. And it works. Why? Because that's what the masses want, right? I don't do condos or townhomes. You can, but my niche or my ground is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Those are the types that people want. And then I rent my properties out to Section 8. All right. Why do I choose Section 8 rental? Because I get my money guaranteed. You see, we have a crash coming up, before long. Again, I'm not here to predict when, but I've been through these crashes before, and it doesn't bother me because I get paid to the government. And I like teaching people how to go out there and buy these properties, investment properties, and you can do the same thing. You just have to learn this information and then take action. All right. So hopefully y'all like this so far. Are we going 2008 type crash? Brave guy. I can't tell you at what depth. I'm just saying it's going to happen. It's bound to happen with all these changes that's coming up. Yeah, we about to have one, but that's not a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to show people. It's like, it's all about buying things at a discount. It's going to have to correct itself. It's not my rule. I'm just telling you, after all this time of learning and tuning into things, guys, we are bound for another crash. Is it going to be as deep as 2008? I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. With all these changes that's going to come up, it's going to shake the economy. And that's probably what they want to do. That's probably what they want to do. And they're going to get that. But how deep it goes with all these tariff tax going on and changes happening, yeah, it's bound to happen. But again, I'm out looking for deals right now. I don't let that bother me because I understand that when times go down like this is the opportunity to buy. All right. Things are on sale. Things are at a discount. Kind of like, think about when y'all go to Best Buy and you wait in line late at night, early in the morning, you're sleeping in the cold, right? Because you want to get a TV that goes down in value, right? How about getting investment properties, right, at a discount, but instead of going down in value, they're going to go up in value. Real estate goes up. And when you understand that, and then you can rent these things out, and there's other benefits you get too, like write-offs, you get depreciation, you get the cash flow every single month. You're building wealth because it's going up in value. That's just what it's an asset, right? So these are the things why I teach and tell. It's like getting into real estate is like the way to go. And this is just my hardcore opinion. I've been doing it for since 2000, so 25 years, and I enjoy doing it and I love it. I love teaching it. But again, single family houses for somebody that was asking, I like to buy single family houses and then rent them out to Section 8 because I want to get paid every single month guaranteed. So does anybody have any questions? If y'all will tap the screen and let me know that y'all like this. And again, man, if y'all have any questions, put them in the chat. It's been a while. I haven't been on in a minute. Oh, and by the way, I always like to tell people, man, if y'all want to learn more about real estate, I do have a community that you can sign up for. And all you got to do is come right up here and tap my picture right there, and you can sign up. And you can sign up for my community, which is free. And then also, when I have an upcoming class, you'll be known because you'll be in my community. And that's what I want to do is kind of have a network of people to get you started in real estate. I remember what it was like being brand new, getting started in real estate, man. I didn't know anything, right? I was just like everybody else, but I took the time out to learn it. That was important to me. I kept grinding it and learning it and learning it. Now I have a lot of single family houses. I've sold some, and then I got 2 apartment complexes in Augusta, Georgia. So I'm here in Texas, and I have single family houses, and I enjoy it. That's one of my main streams of income. I also do a little crypto, but I'm not here to talk about crypto. I'm just here to talk about real estate. Do you do it in Utah? No, Hazel. I only do real estate in 2 places, like I said, Augusta, Georgia, and Texas. Those are my 2 choices. But when you do the real estate game, you could do it wherever you want to. You don't have to do it where you live at. You could do it across state. There's no law about that. So you make that choice. That's the beautiful thing about real estate. You could buy as many houses as you want. You can do it in any location. You're not constrained to one location or the amount. There's no law. That's what's good about that. Think about this. With your corporate America job, you are restricted on the hours and how much money you can make. And you fall for it every single day that you go slave for somebody else. I know for me, I decided, you know what? I got to make a change for myself and my family. I don't know if you are, I'm just speaking from my perspective. Working for somebody else is tiresome. That grind every single day wore me out. But I'm glad I had enough sense to say, you know what, I want to make a change in my life. And once I got laid off, that's what it took too, because in the early 2000s, I got laid off. Now I ended up getting another job again, but I told myself I will never, ever let somebody have that. Just think about it. We give somebody so much control that it's unbelievable. And they have all control of our financial future, and they got us right here. They got you right here. So when you go to work every single day, did you know they can lay you off at any given moment? And they don't have to even have a reason. They can look for any reason. But that I used to go to work, and I remember I had a lump in my throat because I was thinking, man, I've got bills to pay. I got a house note. I got 2 cars. I got mouths to feed. I got credit cards, utility. I got all this stuff, and I'm dependent on one stream of income. That is dangerous. Again, this is some stuff that I started to learn later on. I says, I got to get myself out of this position. And that's another reason why I got into real estate, because I wanted some extra streams of income, right? And I like I said, doing real estate. And I personally do single families and I do apartments, but I'm here to teach about single families. So I just share with my information, guys, what helps me out. And it could do the same thing for you. But, it's funny. I give a lot of people a lot of information. A lot of people I know, they're scared. They're intimidated. They're unsure. But I know the way I was thinking was I need to do something because I don't want to get laid off again, or I don't want to get, fired, or, those were the things that were going through my mind. And I got a wife and kids, like I said, to take care of. Man, that's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress to be dependent on one income. Yeah, I just couldn't do it no more. So anyway, that was my situation. So I stopped working for somebody else 3 years ago because I decided, you know what? If anybody gonna do it, it's gotta be me. and I didn't mind taking a chance on me. We so much in cahoots with. Think about it. You support everybody else, but very few times do you support yourself, right? So it is what it is. All right. Anyway, there you go, right there, guys. But I'm just teaching people about real estate, man. Anybody can do this, and I know a lot of people are saying too, because I was thinking this too. You don't have to have a license to do what I'm doing. Okay. Now, I'm not a realtor, and you don't need to be a realtor, right? All I do is go buy these properties. I have them in my company name, and then I rent these things out and I get cash flow every single month. What I didn't want to do was get another job. That's why I do this, right? It's important to you to know because I started out thinking, wait a minute, I got to go get my license to be a real estate investor. I was thinking like everybody else was. You don't have to. I'm telling you, you don't need it. Um, I made that mistake. That's why I'm telling you not to do it, right? But if you want to get your license, I guess you can, man. But it's not going to help you that much. Trust me. Um, anyway, any other questions out there? Somebody says TikTok is better. Haha. uh, I mean, I'm learning this. There's other social medias, obviously, but it's good, quick, organic growth here on TikTok. But there's other ones that are good too. I can't say it on here because they'll probably ban me. So, but anyway, do you have all your properties on the one company's name? Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Um, and I have different LLCs, but I do have my properties under one company name. I don't want different names for my properties under company names, but I do have it under several LLCs, like I said. Now, I'm not here to give you financial advice, and this is not legal advice. I'm just telling you what I've done and how I've structured it. And it's good to have a trust too. But yeah, Kelvin Sampson. I don't know who that is. Sorry, man. Anyway, do we have any other questions while we out here? Especially on this platform here. But yeah, guys, don't. It's so important, man. Especially now, man. People are living check to check and they're broke, but a lot of that is by choice. It's a lot of that is by choice because we simply don't take the time out to get the information. And then when we get the information, the worst part about it is we don't do anything with it, right? We don't do anything with it. We just come out here and you take this information, you absorb it, then you go to work because you're working for somebody else, slaving for somebody else, and then you regurgitate it to around your homies and homegirls, but you still ain't getting nowhere. So it's like, why get this information if you're not going to do nothing with it, right? So they say knowledge is power. I just did a video on this, but they say knowledge is power. No, not really. Knowledge is not power unless you do something with it, right? Knowledge is not anything until you do something with it. As you can see right here, you can't see it on this platform, but here I got a lot of books right here. I read a lot. I read a lot about real estate investing. I read a lot about finance. These things are important to me, but I'm gonna promise you this: if I didn't put it into action, I couldn't come up here and teach you that. I couldn't teach you guys this, right? It would just be fluff. It'd just be talking. No, I have single family houses. I have apartments. It's because I took the action because of these books right here. And plus I went to seminars. And plus I've listened to podcasts and I network with people. So people are always asking, you can't just read a book. You can't just go to seminars. This is a work in progress. I'm always learning about real estate, right? I'm not here I don't know everything, right? I just don't know everything, but I know a whole lot. What's your favorite book regarding finance? Mace. All right. Tap the screen and I'll give you some good financial books that I found were really good. And it beats any education system, any education system. So you guys out here and guys out here, if you will, let's run these likes up as I get some water real quick. And I'm going to help you out by showing you and telling you what books to read that I found good. But guys, you can get all the books you want. If you don't take action, it's not going to do you any good. I have to state that. So run the likes up. I'll give you 3 good books that I find are really, really good that can help you out. Now, again, guys, to help you out even more, to level up, what you could do is, if you want to come to my free community, because I'm going to make my announcements when I go when I have my next workshop. But all you got to do is click right up here, and if you're on YouTube, all you got to do is the same thing. Um, all you got to do is click right up here. All right, click right there, and then you can sign up for my free community. Okay, it's no cost, but you're going to get a lot of information like when I do my next workshops. So somebody was asking me about the books. Okay, so I'll tell you some books that I've read in the past and that are still good. Okay, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Very, very good book. If you listen to any podcast or listen to any seminars, anything, I guarantee you most people have read, and entrepreneurs like myself and investors, we have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. We have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Really good book. Two sides. Robert Kiyosaki had a real dad, his biological dad. He worked at a university, but his best friend's dad was a real estate investor. So he got to see both sides of the coin. And man, was that amazing. His dad worked at a university, and unfortunately, they were just middle class, living check to check like most people, right? And he worked at a university. It was his mindset. Where his rich dad, it wasn't really his dad, it was his best friend's dad. He did real estate, and he liked that because he saw the other side of the coin, to where the rich dad was making money. He had time. He got to do the things he wanted to do, spend time with his family. Whereas biological dad, on the other hand, didn't have a whole lot of time, was broke, always complaining, didn't have any money, and he even had a degree, and he still was living check to check. Can anybody kind of confirm with that or kind of resonate with that? So it's once you change this, guys, and have an understanding that things can change for you. So anyway, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a good book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, another good book. And then another good book that I think is really good, because there's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of good books out here, but another good book is The Millionaire Next Door by Tom Stanley. The Millionaire Next Door by Tom Stanley. Now I'm going to tell you why I kind of like this one. All right. I like this one because when you read the Millionaire Next Door, it gives you an understanding of how the millionaires really are. People think a true millionaire is somebody that's got the Lambos and the Ferraris and they got the 5,000 square foot home. Y'all are getting duped, man. A true millionaire, he keeps his stuff on the down low, right? He keeps his stuff on the down low. He's not about flashy. He's not about the cars. He's not about all that stuff, because he understands he's making his money multiply, and he does it in silence. He doesn't need to be boasting and bragging, right? He's more concerned about having his money grow and multiply, as opposed to go getting the. Now, I'm not saying every millionaire is, doesn't have all that stuff. I'm just saying, when you read that book, it's going to break it down for you. Okay. I guess I'm not really explaining it well, but a millionaire is not really what you think it is. All right. They're really undercover, and that's the best thing about it. All right. So anyway, my stocks are skyrocketing. Yes. Well, I don't know. With the market going down and Trump making his decision on these tariff tax, it did take a nosedive a few days ago. But this is really the best time to buy because things are on a discount, even whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, or whether it's real estate. So either one. Which asset class in real estate? So what I teach is single family houses. I'm teaching about getting single family houses. I don't care. So somebody's asking about what class. Believe it or not, there's different classes. There's A class, B class, C class, D class, and I guess F class. Okay. So it comes from A class, which is the best, and then it comes all the way down to the F class, which is the worst. I like to get in the middle between about B, low B, C, but I bring these properties up, right? That's the key right there. I'll show you some of my properties. I can't do it here on this platform because I can't flip my screen around. But my point is, I like to buy properties at discounted prices. I like to buy properties from motivated sellers or distressed properties and turn around and get these things rehabbed They look beautiful, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, I saw that, man. Crypto was down. It went down to about 79, 78. I think it's back up again. But yeah, it's it took a dip. How denying class how denying classify ABCF class on single family? Oh, how do you classify it? Okay, good question. Tiny home plug. So here's how I classify it. The location. Yeah, no worries. So the location. So an A class would be something like Beverly Hills, right? High end luxury. Location is very important, but all the extra amenities. I don't get into that. B class, step down from that. C and D is about where the average. Well, let me F. Let's go down to F. F would be something like in Compton or something. Nothing against Compton, but this is where the gangs are and all the drug infested and all the all that stuff in the bad areas, right? If I got to go to one of my properties in a bulletproof vest, I don't need that property, right? I don't care how discounted the price is. My safety and yours should be more important. I got to learn that the hard way. But I want to get in a class where they call it, back in the day, they call it the bread and butter homes, where the average person can live. See, I'm not trying to get into the mansions. All right. I'm not trying to get into the mansions, and I ain't trying to get in the hood. I want to get right there in the middle where the average person can buy. That's the best spot. Understood. Do you focus on existing, or do you have fun with new construction too? Tiny home plug. I like to buy properties that need rehab. They're already existing. I'm not building from the ground up. People don't realize that's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time. You got to deal with permits, new material, which that doesn't bother me. I buy existing. I make it real simple. I buy existing homes and get these things rehabbed. And guess what? I don't have to pay a whole lot out of pocket because of the type of funding that I use. All right. That's the best way to do it. And I've been doing it since the early 2000s. And I'll flip my screen around just to show you some before and after pictures of some of my properties. If y'all want to see that, by the way, tap the screen. Let's run these likes up to 5,000 likes. I'll actually show you one of my deals. And I can show you how I do it and how you can do this too. And I even teach you this in my workshops that I got coming up. But if you want to join my workshop, guys, or my community, all you got to do is click right up here, follow me. Hope you like this information. Follow me, and then you'll know when my next class is coming. But let's run these likes up to 5,000 likes, and I'll show you one of my deals. All right. What is the best location for flippers? I'm looking to wholesale. Okay. Okay. I don't know where you live, user mod, but I just say wholesale where you're at. I mean, that's my best advice. If you want to do real estate where you live at. All right. And then maybe you can advance, because my opinion is, and maybe because I live, well, part of it is because I live here, but another thing is I like to buy stuff in the South. It's historically known that prices are cheaper down south. I'm talking about Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. I'm just telling you. I do know that California and New York are a little bit higher. I got that. For those that see, somebody just put that. I got it. But what I'm saying is that even though you live in New York and California, you could still go in other locations, right? There's no law that says you can't. The only thing that's going to stop you from going in another location is lack of information and you not taking action. Them two things right there. Lack of information and or you not taking action. That's what's going to stop you from doing elsewhere. All right. Man, we're not even at 5,000 likes yet. My goal usually is to get to 75,000. I come short every single day. I find that funny, man. I know I come out here and give all y'all some sauce and information, but hey, look, if you do something with it, hopefully you do. If you don't, I'm just telling you, man, I was just like everybody else trying to make ends meet. I found out through real estate. I've got my financial freedom. Hopefully you'll want to get it too. But I didn't want to just depend on one stream of income. I definitely wasn't going to continue to depend on corporate America, man. I'll leave that up to you guys because I ain't going to have it. I wasn't going to do it because I says, man, I want better. I want to do better and I want to be better. Now, don't get me wrong. If you got your corporate America, don't just quit it, right? Let that be your friend. But man, when you're so dependent on one income, ooh, that is dangerous. So now that I think about it, looking back in time. All right. So before I want to let you know something real quick, guys, I'm on this platform. I'm about to get off of here. If y'all are on YT, you can always hit me up. I'm gonna still be streaming on and being on TikTok. All right. So I'm about to get off this platform and then on YouTube, guys, follow me for more. I'll be on next time, and you can see me over here on TikTok. All right. So all you gotta do is just come to EY the Real Estate Investor. EY the Real Estate Investor. I'm over here on TikTok. All right. See y'all later on YouTube.